Urgent coverage as the drone mystery deepens. Lawmakers meet on Capitol Hill to discuss the possible threats of these unmanned aerial systems to the U.S. Let's bring in drone expert Brett Velicovich. He's also a former Army Special Operations soldier, former military intelligence Fox News contributor. We have spoken to you on so many different occasions about drones. Never a story like this. What are we supposed to make of it?
Well, either way, whether it's friendly or foe, our government has a lot of explaining to do. I mean, I'd tell you that I find it very difficult to believe our government doesn't really know anything about this. But frankly, from what I've seen in the drone industry, it's entirely plausible. They have zero clue what's going on, are just embarrassed to admit it. And they should be. You know, my gut, frankly, tells me it's an adversary that's doing this, because if it was some secret military testing, the government would have put an end to it because of the hysteria. And I think right now our adversaries see an opening in our national security infrastructure, because at the highest echelons of our government, there is a security vacuum taking place because of this transition between administrations. So timing is such a key indicator here. They're probing us. And if it were me on the other end of it, and let's say I'm China or Russia, my intelligence services are watching this transition period. We've got, 30, 45 days before Trump takes office, and enough time to put maximum pressure on our defense infrastructure to test our U.S. national security. And they know exactly what the U.S. response is going to be. Feckless. It's exactly what's taking place right now. And they're winning from what they're doing. And it's what I do. You have someone weak now in the office who isn't going to do anything about it. The adversary clearly sees we lack the capacity to do much of anything, and they're going to do it loudly, and they don't care. That's how countries like China and Russia operate. They don't think like this. It might be even part of this, strategy to cause disruption among the populace. And that's a win for an influence campaign in a lot of ways, because we're not doing very much anything about it. And they don't frankly care if they're going to get caught. The problem, though, overall, is that our infrastructure, our national security systems, we are not set up for this non-traditional manner to cope with the reality of commercial drone technology threats we face these days. We have an archaic infrastructure. We've been telling them to fix it for years. The FAA doesn't listen. Their policies have completely destroyed our domestic drone industries. We're set back 10 years behind China, behind Russia, and now our public is at risk. Look at what we're seeing right now. It's absurd.
Brett, Governor Murphy said there was 49 reports of these drones on Sunday alone. We watch these videos and you think, well, no wonder people are up in arms. I mean, it's alarming to see these things up in the sky, and some are describing them as very large, but all over the state they've been seen, apparently mostly in Hunterdon County. He says this is something we are taking deadly seriously, and he doesn't blame people for being frustrated. But we don't know who's piloting the drones. These are all mysteries, okay? But they continue to tell the public no known risk or threat to public safety. Well, how do you know that to be the case?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what I can't get over is officials like the New Jersey governor making these public statements that they don't currently pose a threat. How does he really know that? Usually, though, when somebody says there's no threat to public safety, it's code for maybe they know a little bit more than they're claiming. So, we can right now try and poke holes a little bit at this theory that this was some sort of military exercise, because I keep getting asked if this is some sort of super secret agency doing military testing, but it doesn't work like that. I've been involved in many top secret exercises across the U.S., and there is always some sort of level of coordination with local authorities. You don't tell them everything, but you tell them they're there. And, there's a lot of what's called red selling, for instance, where we will attempt to use a drone to penetrate the defenses of our military, show our military where we're vulnerable. But that is a highly coordinated action. Okay, if it's a military exercise, what would be the thought process in not telling anyone? And right now there's so much hysteria, rightfully so. That exercise, they would have been told to stop that immediately. So I just don't understand, what everyone's doing. And I just can't understand also why they're not putting in the mechanisms to fix this. This is easily fixable. These drones are not undetectable. Okay?
I was just going to say, Brett, what's the radius that one would have to be in? For the ones we're seeing now, this is a residential neighborhood. They're up over. The drone operators got to be right there. How far away could they be?
Not necessarily. If right now I could take a drone, attach a Starlink to it, and fly right over China and fly a bunch of drones without anyone even knowing the difference. But again, it's easy to fix. All you need to do, every single drone sends frequencies out. They're transmitting signals. You take a spectrum analyzer, you figure out what frequencies are in the area, and then you jam on those frequencies. You jam those frequencies and take them down. But our infrastructure is not set up for that right now.
Got it.
Again, because we have not put in those mechanisms in place to be able to do that. It's all got to change. It's got to change.
So many questions still. I hope you come back soon, because this does not appear to be anywhere close to over. And why New Jersey? We'll keep watching it. Thank you so much, Brett.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.